Well, we all have a dream job. Maybe it's making it as a famous musician or blogging about your travels around the world, or perhaps you've already found it and are living the dream. Well, there's a new list out of what people in BC believe to be the top jobs in the province, and there are a few surprises on it. Jesse Johnston explains.
It seems everyone in Metro Vancouver has a dream job.
I think I would be Rick Steves. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he has his own television show and he travels.
I would love to be point guard for the New York Knicks. This year? Maybe, yeah, I could probably make the team this year, actually, now that I think about it.
Actually, I have my dream job. I'm a poet, and I get to teach poetry and teach students to write poetry.
Pollster Insights West compiled a list of BC's dream employers. Some of them, like the Vancouver Canucks, probably don't come as much of a surprise. But the Canada Revenue Agency?
That was quite a surprise for us as well. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody who thinks that working there will give them any tax breaks or maybe they have other opportunities, but there's a sense of looking at it as something that is never going to go away. Death and taxes.
Don't believe him? We found a CRA employee who says, yes, it's a good place to work.
I like to look at the legislation, and sometimes you feel like you make a bit of a difference helping people out and solving their tax problems.
In the public sector, BC Ferries, Canada Post, and BC Hydro all made the cut.
I really get to learn a lot about the province, about different areas, different communities. I've learned a lot about how our operations work.
So what is it that sets those companies apart from the rest? Pay is at the top of the list, but that's not all there is to it.
People who want to have flexibility in their work hours. I don't want to be at a specific place at a desk from 9 to 5.
1 in 3 British Columbians say they're happy right where they are, but they're in the minority. Roughly half of the people in this province say they'd take another job if the right opportunity came along. Jesse Johnston, CBC News, Vancouver.
So let's talk about this with Christian Codrington. You're of the Human Resources Management Association.
Correct.
Quite the mouthful.
It is.
And the first question that I had when I looked at this list of dream employers and I looked at the factors that different people consider and value when they are looking for a job, is that, when it comes to things like compensation, I mean, how do they even know? I mean, I don't actually know what WestJet pays its employees.
Well, and that's a great question, and there is a lot of brand imaging that goes along with some of these firms. We're seeing success. They've been around for a while, so let's assume then that they can pay you on a regular basis. So I think that when it comes to perceiving what's being paid at an employer, people are looking at factors that might not have anything to do with what's actually going on with the pay scheme.
You think it's a popularity contest more than anything else?
Well, I think there's a lot of brand imaging that goes along with it. These are companies that have some good reputation in the media.
So then, when it comes to this issue, if it's more about imaging and about perception, and I think of all these sort of off-the-wall perks that these progressive, especially IT companies tend to offer, ball pits or a beanbag lounge, that sort of thing. Does that go a long way?
Well, again, if people are wanting pay as most important, I think that can go a long way after those things like compensation and benefits and a healthy place to work are in place. I'm not sure people are choosing to leave their current employer to go drink on Fridays with the new employer.
So what are some good examples then in your mind of companies that are managing their brand pretty well to this end?
Well, let's look at some local companies. I mean, like Best Buy Canada, for example. It's a sexy employer that offers a really interesting product. They have a lot of young people coming into their work employment, and they also offer some really great perks. They offer a subsidized cafeteria, for example. They offer a subsidized gym. They've just built that gym for their staff. The staff are great ambassadors for the brand. They go out and talk about what a great place it is to work. So I think there's a good local employer that does a good job of creating a good brand image for themselves. Starbucks is another great company where people at the end of the day are pouring a cup of coffee.
Right.
But the employer has done a wonderful job of instilling that corporate culture that you're not just pouring a cup of coffee, you're enriching someone's daily life.
You're a part of something
You're
bigger,
part of something
right?
big. And not just that, they reinforce that through things like stock options for their staff. So that from the benefits perspective, they're tied into not just what they say, but what they want their staff to do.
Interesting stuff. Christian Codrington, thanks so much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
So you've heard about the best places to work, but what about the best jobs? We'd like to hear from you on that. What's your dream job and why? Anything, anywhere. send me a tweet. I'm at Andrew Chang CBC, and we will be reading some of the responses a little bit later on.